Bitcoin Association founder and Chainstone Labs CEO and founder, Bruce Fenton. Bruce, good morning to you and great to see you this morning. After such a drop, where does crypto go from here, Bitcoin specifically?
Well, Bitcoin is an asset that's limited in supply, and it's up against an asset, the U.S. dollar and fiat, that's unlimited in supply. So, I'm still bullish. I think that we're in crazy economic times, and the Fed keeps printing money from thin air, and Bitcoin is something that has certainty in a very uncertain world. So I'm still bullish for sure.
Does Bitcoin present the kind of certainty to investors that you think they're looking for? It's interesting because when it was moving higher, we all thought it might be an inflation hedge, but this drop now says it's probably not being traded that way. I don't know. I think a lot of people still don't feel comfortable enough with crypto and how the space is going to shake out, right? All these players are not going to be left one day, and they're trying to also figure out if there's one or two men standing, which ones they'll be.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, not all crypto is created equal. That's for sure. Bitcoin particularly is a very unique among the other cryptocurrencies. It has some unusual properties in the way that was created and the way that it's distributed. It's more fair and more distributed and less centralized control. But at the end of the day, it's this certainty. Every 10 minutes there's a block of Bitcoin transactions that's confirmed. And we know that. Of Bitcoin don't argue that that's true. So we have certainty in a very uncertain world. I prefer that system driven by math and code rather than a system driven by important people in fancy offices in Washington, D.C. who decide out of thin air what money is. That's a crazy system. Bitcoin may be a crazy system, by the way. It's kind of funny money.
Crazy in two different ways. But as the markets continue to experience some volatility, what are you expecting in terms of regulation? Because this has been something, it's so interesting. Congress, had a few things high on its to-do list, and then the pandemic happened and all these other things happened. Crypto is one of the things I feel that has kind of fallen through the cracks here.
Yeah, hopefully it would be less regulation. Unfortunately, politicians like to regulate everything. It's a bad idea. We don't need nanny state government authorities in between, individuals who are voluntarily enacting in trade. If two adults voluntarily want to make a trade with each other for anything, any sort of cryptocurrency or any other asset, they should be allowed to do that. It's just not a moral or right role of government to be in between that transaction. And it's failed miserably. We have 85 years of regulation now, and it just hasn't worked. It's just prevented a lot of businesses and a lot of individuals from doing well.
Billionaire investor Mark Cuban slamming Securities and Exchange Commissioner Chair Gary Gensler's stance on crypto. Cuban tweeting this, quote, "Come in and talk to who? Set up an appointment now. How? You using Calendly these days, since you understand crypto lending finances, why don't you just publish bright line guidelines you would like to see and open it up for comments?" Bruce, your reaction to that? Cuban and investor
Yeah, Cuban's
in crypto.
absolutely right. The SEC has made this show of saying that they're reaching out to people. I own an SEC registered broker dealer. I've been SEC registered for 30 years, and I've been in crypto for 9 years. And let me tell you, they are not helping our industry. They're not even being clear about what the rules are. They're just trying to expand and expand and expand and get more power and do photo ops and things like that. It's completely against free markets and American principles. People should be able to do whatever they want and invest in however they choose. The SEC just hasn't been efficient at all in making the markets better. So I think it's time for a total overhaul. We don't need more regulations. We need more freedom. Freedom is what makes America great. That's what we need now.
And actually, we've been covering, reports of, for example, the people wanting to invest in Bitcoin in their 401ks and making that part of like a larger package. Some would argue, for the long term and for more, for an investment strategy that is for your retirement or whatnot, you wouldn't want to experience that kind of volatility. Others saying if crypto moves a lot, it could be a big boon if we were invested in it. What's your thought on retirement plans, including this as an option?
Yeah, there's some ways to do that now. It's a little bit tricky, but it is a way to do it now, and it's something that, depending on somebody's financial situation, could make sense. It is volatile. I think people really need to understand money first before they invest. I'm very cautious about, as bullish as I am, I'm cautious about telling people, go buy Bitcoin or something. I tell them, go understand money first. Understand what money is and why money is money, and then think about it. And for those people, yeah, it absolutely could be appropriate in a retirement plan.
How do you think if investors aren't looking at Bitcoin at the moment as this inflation hedge, right? We do have high inflation. We've seen the prices come down. So how are they looking at this exactly? Because it feels like it changes and it shifts in different market conditions, different market environments.
Personally, I think the right way to look at it is as money, and to ask yourself that big 30,000-foot question. What is money? What makes money money? Why were the notes in the Weimar Republic worthless? Why are the Zimbabwe dollars that are $1 trillion dollars? Why are those worthless? Why is the dollar worth less than it was 5 years ago? And these come back to the simple properties of money. One of those properties is a limited supply, and they're printing money from thin air, and that's just never been money. It wasn't money in Rome. It wasn't money in the Weimar Republic, and it's not money now. The thing that they're calling money is a scam, for lack of a better word. It's politicians printing something from thin air and just telling us it's money. And having that ability to print money without accountability is something that's very, very damaging to the economy. So right. Bitcoin offers an alternative to that. It's a better form of money. The current system isn't going to work. It's not sustainable. We have to move to something. Bitcoin is one possibility that we can look at.
That has been one thing that many investors have pointed out and said there is a finite amount of it. And so, that creates a controllable market condition. Bruce Fenton, good to see you this morning. Good to talk crypto with you. Come back again soon.